I'm Brian Tiedman. I go to Bethesda, and this is my mother, Jennifer. We've been going to Bethesda Lutheran Church our whole lives, ever since I was a kid, and ever since my mom.
Since I was a child.
Ever since my mom was a kid too. Spent about 4 to 6 months.
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
At
4 to 6 weeks
Regions.
at Regions.
I think at that point too, we were just like, God, how could you have let that happen? Someone fall. Why wasn't there lights for him to see before he crossed the bridge? Why wasn't there was homeless people that kind of intimidated him from using the walkway underneath? And it's, I think we were like, how could that have happened? And so I think that's what we were wrestling when it first happened, because they pretty much put Brian in a coma for a few weeks just to help him stabilize and, deal with the injuries he sustained on that. I think then we just, from that viewpoint, it was us, myself and my husband, working with the doctors and nurses and the issues that were upon us at that time with his needs. And I know right away in the emergency room when I got called, as his friends kept coming in, there was probably a dozen of us right away in the waiting room while he was off getting a test done, that I just pulled them all into a circle for prayer. And that was, the start, I think, of a bit faith-based. It's like, you can fall apart or you can turn to God. And it's like, I think it was almost easier to turn to God than to fall apart. But I know the doctors and nurses, it was kind of neat. The church had the little angels, and then at that time they made the crosses with the little stones from the baptismal thing, and we had those hanging in Brian's room. I know they'd come in and some levels were off or some were elevated or whatever. And at that point, I just say a prayer, God, adjust these, bring this down, raise this up, clear this up, do whatever. And things worked that way for us, and they would happen. And there was a comment after a couple of weeks that the nurses could just feel God's presence when they came into Brian's room, just because I think of our faith and Brian's faith too, from a comment he made right after he fell, that he wanted to cling to Jesus, and live.
And I was going to do most of the talking.
Well, you go.
Spent the time at Sister Kenny was right after Regents, right?
Yep.
At Sister Kenny, and that was a wonderful place. I met some people that really helped me out and were actually of the Christian faith themselves, and it helped me a lot to go through with my religion and to be able to stay with Jesus and God. And after that, I was then to the Good Samaritan Society in Minneapolis, and then I seen a low point in my time being such a rundown facility. A highlight was one of the therapists there that brought me back to my whole religion and why I was there, and it really helped me out a lot that she was one of the only people that really cared about me and about how my background was before my accident and now after my accident. She helped me out a lot, not only with therapy but with my religion. And I've actually brought her to church 1 or 2 times, and always tried to get her to come visit before she moved away, and she did, and that was real neat. That was the first that I seen anyone from like the stranger basis come to where I needed someone like to be my friend outside of their workplace. Yeah, it made a big difference. I was able to see God every time that she showed up in my room and be like, Brian, it's time to go to therapy, or Brian, get up out of bed, get in your chair, it's time to do something, you've been lazy all day. And yeah, she helped out a lot. I actually found a place up in Duluth for me to live at, and from there, going to another rundown, kind of not the right best fit for me, kind of group home to live at. Sort of awkward, always wondering, God, are you there? That I don't know if he was listening to me at that moment, but he listened because I found a place close to home, close to family, and close to church, and that's where I live now, and it's been the best place since my accident.
And I think the judge down here really had compassion, and that helped a lot too, that he saw how strong we were as a family and pretty much ordered the county to get him back down here where he could be supported. And I think that was a big relief.
My sense was that as part of that time, you kind of went through some depression of coming to grips with what changes had happened in your life, and it was not easy to motivate to want to do the therapy and different things. And my sense is, Brian, you can agree or disagree, but that was part of the struggle. Are you there, God? To come to a place where you were willing to fight or work hard at what you needed to do to get out and do stuff for yourself. You want to say anything about that? How you came to that place? What turned that around for you?
The whole time of being depressed, I know it was really hard in the first place, but also knowing that there's still people that care about me, that always brought me back to God is there listening, because through donations or through just friendly visits coming to see me, kept me close, thinking that God is there, he's trying to send a message, but it wasn't a strong one as I hoped it would be. It was just little increments of, hey, I'm still here, I'm watching over you and keeping you safe. That nothing bad has happened since then, and it did get better for me. It got a lot better by moving down close to family and church.